How long have you been making beats, Versus?
As I said, I started in 2011 making beats for real. I mean, I first opened FL Studio when it was FL4. I was like, what, 9 years old, but making beats for real since 2011, 2010. Yeah.
So how long does it take for you to make a beat?
Right now I make a beat in like 5 to 10 minutes.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah.
So like, do you use a lot of sounds?
I don't overthink it like that anymore, you know? Like when I first started, I was making sure to use sounds on top of sounds to stack them up, blah blah, you know? And after a while I was like, man, I'm just gonna let it flow. So I use 3-4 instruments the most on a beat. I got 1 or 2 go-to 808s that I'm using, 2 or 3 snares that I use all the time, a clap, a crash, and pretty much, you know, a hi-hat, and that's it. I'm trying to keep it simple.
Do you got like a signature that you throw in there that people might not have the code?
A what?
A signature.
I have a tag, but as far as like a signature sound, whenever my beats drop, they don't drop with the 808 right away. Like 808 it's always gonna come like a couple seconds after the drop. Because you know, when you have a build up and people expect you to drop with an 808, my beats don't do that. It just drop with a regular crash or whatever, and afterwards the 808 comes in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've done a lot of production for like Chicago artists. Do you have any production with like pop artists and R&B singers?
Yeah, I do. I'm trying to come up with some names right now. Man, I actually did some pop songs with recently with a Chicago artist that he's not necessarily pop. It's a Dilo from the West Side.
Yeah.
We did some pop records together. Other than that, I could say more random people that are not that established yet as far as pop beats. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming with Dilo as far as pop
like
music.
Like those type of music?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that type of vibe.
So, you're working alongside Rich Laurel. How did you two meet?
I've been, I first reached out to him, I think it was last year around this time, like 1 year ago. And we were just networking, you know. We never actually got a chance to collab or to link up. But since July 2017, it's like 6 months ago, we actually partnered up. It happened like all of a sudden. We just partnered up at a studio on 35th Street, and afterwards in September we moved here at the Music Garage. And yeah, I can say he actually showed me a lot, you know. He, as far as the engineering, he told me a lot of important things that I used in my business. So yeah, to me it was very beneficial.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's known for his excellent engineering, his production. Do you two guys have anything coming out soon together that you guys
his album is coming out. He's doing everything as far as his album. He's recording, making the beats, mixing, mastering. Okay. So as far as that's his own preference. He want to keep it just you know, solo throughout the whole album. I think he got like 2 or 3 features, but as far as beats, mixing and stuff like that, he wants to keep everything solo.
Okay.
Yeah.
You posted on Instagram that you started your own label, Universus. What all services do you offer to your artists?
So I started the label like 1 year ago. I actually had an artist signed under the label for a while, but things didn't work out, you know. And me personally, I went with the old business model, like get an artist, sign him, invest money behind him, you know, try to put him on. Okay. The old-fashioned, you know, business model. But I figured out that doesn't work anymore, you know, or it didn't work in my situation.
Why you feel it doesn't work?
Because I feel that you don't really need a label like that no more, and I feel that the expectancy of the artist, it's like it's not too high, but it's different than what I was expecting, you know. Like to me it was, even though I was investing everything, I never looked at it as me being the label and him being the artist. I looked at it as us coming up together. Right. You know, he looked at it in a different way, like me being the label and him being the artist, which is a whole different story, you know.
Right.
That happens with major labels usually.
Are you currently looking for artists right now?
I'm always looking for artists, yeah.
Is there anything in particular you're looking for when you say that you are looking for artists?
Yeah, people that are different. Like, I don't care how good you are, because I mean, of course, it's, don't get me wrong, it's, the music is supposed to be good, but don't focus on being good or being the best. Focus on being different more than anything else, because being good or the best is just relative, you know, in music.
Right.
What sounds good to me might sound, you know,
sound good to somebody else.
Yeah. So as far as that, just try to be different, and when I see somebody that's different, I'm trying to kind of test them right away, you know. Like, I either give them a task, or I either tell them, hey, meet me here at this time or whatever, you know. And that's just me trying to prove myself if that person is worth my time and my, you know, investment. And so far, it was very few people that were on point with everything for me to be able to go forward with the process, you know.
Okay, you do a lot of things. You do PR, public relations.
Yeah, I do. I actually went to school for PR and communications and marketing. I'm doing marketing. I'm working with people that I'm developing, that they're paying me a monthly fee to take care of their social media and stuff. Other than that, you know, I got the studio, I got the beats, I got access to a huge network, you know, of people and stuff like that. But as I said, it's about finding that person that's 110% committed, you know, not 90% or 99%, or, you know.
You need that every day throughout.
Yeah. I'm very, very, very picky with that stuff after the experience that I went through.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you're like into fitness. Like, how long have you been locked into the gym?
I've been working out for a while, since like 16, 17, and yeah, when I first moved to Chicago, I stopped working out for like a good 6 months, but I got back in my gym schedule. So
okay. So you kind of fell off a little bit.
I fell off a little bit, but I'm back at it.
All right. So you doing the fitness? You don't smoke. Do you drink socially?
No, but I used to. I used to drink and do a lot of other stuff, you know. But at some point, I quit everything for like a whole year, you know. Afterwards, I got back into it, you know. I started drinking, started smoking here and there, you know. But since 2018, I quit again, everything, you know.
Congratulations.
So for me, it's like that, you know.
All right. So you also got a chance to go to Atlanta, Georgia for the first time. How was that experience?
Yeah, I was there last summer. I was at the Street Executive Studios, you know, just with one of my artists that I used to work with out of ATL. We just had a studio session. I didn't run into nobody famous or somebody relevant at that time, but I seen 2 Chainz used to have his album Girls Love Trap Music or something like that, with the pink trap house. You remember that marketing that he had? And they actually had that trap house not too far from the Street Exec Studios. It was a real house, a real pink house.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was a bunch of people around buying CDs and stuff, and when I seen that, I was like, man, this city is really doing, you know, some dope things, you know.
We did interviews with like other Chicago artists, and they mentioned that Atlanta artists work together more. Like, what's your opinion on that?
From what I've heard, yeah, it's true. I can't speak too much on it because I was not in Atlanta for too long, but yeah, I hear that a lot. I think it's true.
Okay, so what are some other things that stood out in Atlanta?
As I said, everybody was networking with each other, I can say, you know. Everybody was asking, oh, where you from, blah blah, you know. And for them, being more in a southern state, for them it was even more not weird, but I'm trying to find the word. It was more of a surprise, me having an accent and being in this industry, you know. Because maybe in Chicago you have a lot of people from overseas, more immigrants, but in the southern states it's not that common. Yeah. So for them, that was their thing. Like, oh, where you from? Blah blah. You know.
Okay, so like, what are some other cities that you got a chance to visit since you've been in America?
I've been everywhere. Other than the west side, other than West Coast, like LA and Bay Area, I've been to New York a couple times. I've been to Miami this summer, ATL, and I drove all the way to Miami. Actually, I took a road trip, so all those states, you know, all the way to Miami. I stopped in most of those cities, you know. I never been to Texas and LA, but other than that, yeah, I've pretty much been everywhere.
So how was that road trip? You got any like stories you want to share? Anything crazy went down?
So I was with my girlfriend at that time, and it was more like an experience for me to see the country, and to I don't know, to try to find what's different about every state, you know. And you know, when you go from one state to another, you hear a different accent, you hear a different lingo, maybe a different slang. So that was interesting, and the reaction, people's reaction towards my accent was different in every state, because here in Chicago it's not a big deal, you know. But the more you go south, the more surprised you get. Yeah. But no crazy experiences.
No crazy experiences.
No.